This is A Drink with the Hurricane, the talk show discussing all things growing your home care business. This video is sponsored by Home Care Evolution, where we help home care agencies adapt to changing circumstances, transform their business so that they can thrive for years to come.
So it's understanding how many people applied for the job versus how many people actually started working for us with the orientation and was hired. That's your conversion ratio, and it's calculated, the formula, so everybody understands. You take the number of people who were hired and you divide that by the total number of people who applied. And that's where you get this column over here, the conversion ratio. Now what I want you to do, and you wrote that formula down, I'll repeat that. Last year, how many people did we hire and start working for us? Divided by how many people applied for the position. That's the formula. Now I want you to write down 17% or better. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because the 17% or better, we know that that's possible. Because that's what the masters of our industry is doing. Now you don't have to be a master. Don't wait until you're a $5+ million business to have these statistics. Instead, to the lady in the corner over there, right, you were talking about hiring for the future. Get your statistics to this point while we're smaller than that, and that will be part of what gets you to the master level status. Does that make sense, right? This is modeling behavior. Do what the masters are doing, and I too will become a master. So that's where this is coming in and understanding our conversion ratios. Everybody follow me on that? Okay. So now, basically, in order to get 150 caregivers, which is what the masters were doing with that 17% conversion ratio, we're going to need 850 applicants, right? So that's just a note to make to yourself. If I want 150 caregivers, I need 850 applicants. And this is over the course of a year. Okay, so just remember that, it's not overnight. You can reverse engineer this and break it down by taking that number, 850, divided by 52, right? And that should give you 17. So if I can get 17 people to apply every week, that's a goal that you should give to your recruiter. You know you'll get 850 applicants. You know you'll get 150 fresh new caregivers coming into your organization. That's a great way to reverse engineer it and then set goals for your recruiters and so on. I want everybody to say this with me. So yesterday I said, and everybody remember this, referrals equals freedom. Referrals equals freedom. Referrals equals freedom. Right. And freedom in how we're going to run our business. The second thing that I'm going to say with you is retention is everything. Retention is everything. Retention is everything. Retention is everything. All the effort, because just think about what I said. I showed you those numbers. 850 applicants, that's a lot of applicants, right? All the interviews, all the orientation to get that 150 caregivers, we got to keep those caregivers. We also know, too, that when it comes to staffing a case, when it's a nerd patient, all my signs fell out. Can we get somebody to help me put the signs back up? They all fell on the floor over here yesterday. Because I'm going to reference it. We're talking about the nerd patient, right? So if we got nerd patients, those are medically complicated people. Those are people that need a lot of help. In order to properly take care of it, we want to make sure we're sending, I don't know about you, but I'd rather send somebody that I know, like, and trust, a caregiver that has worked a couple of clients in that house versus a brand new person that may or may not work out, right? So if I'm bringing in these type of patients, I would rather have caregivers that I know. That's why I say retention is everything. All right? Moving forward, just showing you some quick stats from the career plugs. Now that I have a lot of people working with Career Plug, they were able to give me some specific stats for our clients, which is cool. So they were talking about the applicants here who were contacted, right? Because it goes through like a filter system that gets to the point where now someone in your office is reviewing it. And then this is when they're first scheduled for an interview, and then these are the people hired. This is a 20% conversion ratio, which is better than the masters. So just think about that, and you can talk to them further about it later on. I also like some of the things that they were able to give to us too, some other metrics that made a difference in how fast we communicated to the actual applicant. The average agency out there is contacting somebody who applies within 3.5 days, which is a long time. Whereas the person using the software with the feedback they gave me, it was less than half of that at 1.5 days. How much time passed from this initial contact to when they had the interview? This is basically, I talked to you today, you're coming in the day after tomorrow. You're coming in tomorrow. Over here, I talk to you 2 or 3 days from now, you come in 2 or 3 days later. So this is significantly more efficient, and total time to hire from applicant to start working for you is 10 days versus 15 days. That's significant. So just some numbers to show you now that I have this data collected out there. So now the next thing you want to ask yourself is, how much does it cost to recruit a single caregiver? It's a very important metric to our organization. How much does it cost to recruit a caregiver? So back to the activated insights. Again, you see this disparity. Like, why is it only $218 when I have less than 50 caregivers working for me? The owner is involved. The owner is usually the one kind of doing everything. All of our solopreneurs in the room, right, who do everything myself, that's the reason why it costs me a little bit less. I'm more efficient. As the business starts to grow, all of a sudden now I have recruiters, and then at this level down here, I have an entire recruiting division with a team of recruiters, right? It could even be virtual assistants who are doing the recruiting for me. So the price does go up a little bit, but we'll get back to it with the average numbers. Now, something else you want to take a look at. You want to take a look at what does it cost your agency per recruitment source. Because this is where financial responsibility comes in.